So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this session, we'll be discussing Indian Express newspaper as usual. We'll be taking up important articles from today's Indian Express and then we'll try to discuss them. We'll try to go forward with the nearby areas, like when we are talking about, let's say if we are talking about the Western Ghats. So we will try to look at the Western Ghats, we will try to have a look at the eco-sensitive zones, we will try that what are the committees which are there. So we can say that there will be a holistic approach which we will be taking today. Okay, so we'll be starting with the explanation of the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture. Then we will move forward with the next section, that is know our constitution. Okay, in between I have news for you, so we'll be discussing that as well. So when we are talking about the front page of the newspaper, here you can see there are certain articles. When we are talking about the facing criticism, government withdraws the new draft broadcast bill. So we'll talk about that. Then here we have this Hindenburg report which we have discussed yesterday, so we won't be dwelling into this article again because we have discussed it already. Okay, so we will be discussing one article that is related to broadcast bill withdrawn. Okay, then we will be talking about the UNESCO's Kalinga Prize. Okay, and then Western Ghats and eco-sensitive zones. Okay, now let's start with the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture. Who is responsible for overseeing the regulations of security markets in India? Okay, so when we are talking about the security market or the stock market, etc., so there is a regulator. We have talked about that regulator yesterday, and that is why we have put this question over here. RBI, Ministry of Finance, Security and Exchange Board of India, and National Stock Exchange. Okay, so basically SEBI is the body which is you can say regulating the security market, or you can say that stock market. Okay, so that is there. That is SEBI, Security and Exchange Board of India. It was in news related to the Hindenburg report which we have discussed yesterday. Okay, now before moving ahead, I have this excited news for you that on the occasion of independence, we have actually brought you this offer for our all online courses, pen drive courses, and the test series and the distance learning programs, DLPs. Okay, so to avail this particular flat 40% discount that will be available from 15th to 18th August, you can directly go in the link which is given in the description. You can click on that. Otherwise, you can call on this number 8010440440 or 87507 87507 87501 87501. Okay, so that is about the discount which is there for you on the occasion of independence. So you can go and actually avail this offer by clicking on the link. Okay, now moving further and starting with the next section, that is know our constitution. We were on the part 3, that is on the fundamental rights. We have discussed up to article 22. We will be discussing further now. Here you will be seeing article 23 and article 24. Okay, these articles are related to right against exploitation. Okay, now in the constitution, when we are talking about various rights which are there, we have these two rights which are providing you you can say safeguard against any kind of exploitation. First is prohibition of traffic in human beings and forced labor. Okay, so there are two things they are talking about. First is trafficking, human trafficking, and second is forced labor. Okay, when we are talking about the time when we were there in the, you can say under the chains of British Empire, or otherwise also when we are talking about the medieval India, otherwise there was this begar pratha. Okay, so that was kind of a forced labor which was there, and after independence, the drafters of the constitution, they have actually thought it through and they decided that such article should be there. So prohibition of traffic in human beings and forced labor. So against that you can approach court directly under you can say article 32. Article 32 is basically, you can say a writ, you can say an article which is providing you power wherein citizens can directly go to the Supreme Court if their, you can say, fundamental rights are violated. Okay, so that is about it. Then moving to the article 24, prohibition of employment of children in factories and mines under age of 14. So that is the age, that is if there is a child which is below age of 14, then such child cannot be employed in any kind of factories or mines. So that is their prohibition of employment of children in factories and minors under age of 14. So basically this is against the, you can say, child labor. Okay. Now moving further, here we will be seeing article 25 to 28. These articles are basically related to your right to freedom of religion. Okay. So when we are talking about India, you know that India is a secular country. Okay, but our secularism is different from the Western secularism. When we are talking about the Western secularism, they have this separate element. You can say that the polity and the religion cannot go together, or they are both separate entities, or you can say state will not have any kind of say in the religion. But when we are talking about India, India has its own nature of secularism, wherein there are certain aspects wherein state is acting as a facilitator. Okay, so here you can say article 25, freedom of conscience and free profession, practices and propagation of the religion. So basically they are talking about 2-3 things over here. One is freedom of conscience. Okay, then second is free profession, practice and the propagation. You can profess a particular religion, practice and propagate. Okay, so but the propagation does not mean that you can go and go for the forceful conversions. That is not part of the propagation. But the thing is, you can spread the idea of your religion across the masses. Okay, so that is there about the propagation of the religion. Article 26, freedom to manage religious affairs. Okay, now that is related to when we are talking about the religious affair. So here government or the state will not interfere in your religious affairs unless they are against the law. Okay, so article 26 give you a freedom to manage your religious affairs. Okay, then article 27, freedom as to pay taxes for promotion of any particular religion. Okay, now the thing is, in 27 it is said that government cannot go and take taxes and then promote any particular religion. Okay, now government can spend on, you can say, a particular, if there is a reasonable cause. Okay, for that they can go for the spending on certain things, but the thing is that should not be based on a particular reason. Okay, now now when we are talking about the religion, simple thing over here to understand is that government can impose a fee. Okay, let's say if there is a religious trust or if there is a temple over there, government can impose a fee, okay, for the administration of that particular temple. But the thing is, they cannot take taxes. Okay, they cannot take taxes and then promote a particular religion. Okay, so you simply say that you cannot show some kind of biasness. Okay, then article 28, which is related to freedom from attending religious instructions. Okay, now here when we are talking about various institutions or educational institutions where religious instructions are provided, now in that case, if the you can say that particular institution is partly or fully funded by you can say government, in that case there is this freedom whether to attend these instructions or not. Okay, so that is there. When we are talking about article 28, there are various subparts which are given over there. We will not go into details of all those things because it will be a lengthy discussion. But the thing is, when we are talking about the right to freedom of religion, you just remember that article 25 to 28 is there. Okay, then moving further, we'll be starting with our discussion that is basically related to the today's newspaper. Now facing criticism, government withdraws new draft of broadcast bill. Now here we are talking about this particular broadcast bill over here. Now there was this draft which has been prepared by the government in 2023 in November somewhere, and then they have actually sent it to the stakeholders. Okay, now it was not sent formally. There was this you can say watermarked copy which was sent to them, and then there was this opinions which has been asked from them. Okay, now but after when this draft was there in the with the stakeholders, it was realized that there are various things which has been criticized. Now one thing was the online platforms. When we are talking about the platforms like OTT, like Netflix or Amazon Prime, etc., these OTT platforms are there. Now in this particular bill, government has tried to control or regulate these platforms as well. One thing is that. Second thing is the online content, like when we are talking about the social media. And if there is a person who is actually talking about some kind of current affairs on the social media, or you can say any kind of videos which are there on the YouTube, now those current affairs related or the news related videos that also were regularized under this particular draft bill, and because of which there were various concerns which were there. and considering all this criticism, government for now has withdrawn that particular bill. Okay, so let's talk about the article here. The draft expand remit to include social media accounts and content creators. When we are talking about the social media accounts, there are various content creators are there. Okay, so one thing is that they have actually thought that they will also expand the umbrella on the social media content creators as well. Okay, so that is why there was this criticism. The Ministry of Information and Broadcasting is learned to have withdrawn the new draft Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill 2024. You don't have to remember the, you can say the name of the bill, or you can say the provisions, because when we are talking about the bill, that has been withdrawn. So we'll be waiting for the new one. We'll be waiting for the act to remember the provisions. But as of now, you should understand the issue. What is the issue over here? Okay. Now let's see. Triggering a controversy and criticism over fears that the government was trying to extend greater control over the online content. Okay, now there is this issue of freedom of speech and expression. When we are talking about the personal accounts on the social media, and if these people are talking about some particular news incident, okay, now controlling or regulating such voices, that would be a concern, because it is a fundamental right under Article 19. That is why there was this particular criticism. Okay, now the draft bill had raised several questions on the freedom of speech and expression and the government's power to regulate it. Okay, now ministry now has asked the stakeholders to return the draft bill because they have withdrawn it. Okay, now here you will be seeing, now they are working on a new proposal. Now we don't know that what will be the new provisions, etc. But right now we know that that draft bill has been withdrawn and they will be starting from scratch. Okay, now the bill sought to replace the 1995 Cable Television Network Regulation Act, which deals with the television broadcasting. In 1995, when we are talking about, at that point of time, we did not have these social media platforms. We did not have the widespread use of the internet at that point of time, and that is why this particular bill, or you can say this particular act, was only limited to the television broadcasting. Okay, because television was the only source at that point of time when we are talking about these news or current affairs, etc. Television was only source for such informations. But now, since the time has changed and now internet is there and everyone can talk about their opinion, they can actually, whenever there is an incident, there are various incidents, various opinion which has been discussed on the media and that are there on the social media platforms, etc. And that is why government is considering to regulate them as well. Okay, now bill consolidated the legal framework for broadcasting sector and extended it to the OTT content and digital news and the current affairs as well. Earlier, when we are talking about, they were there only for the TV or the, you can say, news media, etc. But now they are considering that they will extend it to the OTT platforms. OTT platforms means, when we are talking about this online platforms like Netflix, or you can say there is this Amazon Prime or any kind of media which is providing you content. Okay, so these are the OTT platforms, and then here you will be seeing digital news and the current affairs as well. So that is there. If you are talking about the YouTube, etc., such things are there. Now criticism is that after it expanded its remit from OTT content and the digital news to include the social media accounts, online video creators as well. First, they were talking about OTT only, they were talking about the digital news, but later they have decided that they will expand it to the social media accounts as well. Now, if let's say if there is a person who is creating a content and that he is talking about his own opinion on a particular issue, now government is trying to regulate that as well. Now that is where the problem arises, because that is against the, you can say, Article 19(1). Okay, so that is there. So criticism arises after they have talked about regulating these, you can say, social media accounts and the online video creators as well. Sought to define a digital news broadcaster in sweeping terms to include the independent content creators and the proposed prior registration with the government. Now they have said that they will define the term, that is digital news broadcaster, and in that digital news broadcaster, along with the news media, they have also included the OTT, and then they have said that they will go for the you can say social media, or you can say the independent content creators as well, and they have to register with the government as well. Okay, so such provisions has been given in this particular draft bill, and that is why it faced criticism. Now here you will be seeing there is a difference of opinion when we are talking about the bureaucracy itself. Okay, whether the bill should apply to the non-news online content creators or not. When we are talking about the social media content creators, there was this you can say split in the bureaucracy itself as well. Okay, Now, the latest draft sought to define digital news broadcaster to include the publisher of the news content and current affairs content. Means any person who broadcasts news and current affairs programs through online papers, news portal, website, social media intermediary, or any similar medium as part of the systematic business, professional, or the commercial activity, which excluding replica, but there is this exclusion, that is replica e-papers. So basically they are saying that everyone who is creating content with respect to the news or the current affairs on online platforms, any kind of social media platforms or otherwise or similar mediums, in that case and he is generating some kind of business out of it, and in that case they have to be regulated under that, or they will be considered digital news broadcasters. So that was the definition which was proposed in the bill. Now, definition could include users on YouTube, Instagram, even X, that is formerly it was known as Twitter, who generated advertising revenue through the paid up subscription. So basically they are saying that if you are creating an income out of it, then you will be regularized over here. Okay. Now, the threshold for the number of subscriber or the viewers for the OTT broadcaster who would have to intimate it of their existence. Now, how we will decide that who has to be registered or not? Now they have said that there should be a threshold of the subscriber, or you can say the followers. Such things will be the benchmark, and then if there is a you can say the benchmark is passed by a person, then he has to intimate the government about their existence, and they might even has to register as well. Okay, so such stringent you can say that there was this provisions which were there in the bill, and because of which there was this you can say criticism which we have seen. They have also said that there will be a content evolution committee. Okay, in that particular committee there will be people from various lines of you can say life, where you can say that various stakeholders will also be involved, be it science, be it art, be it you can say social service, and various communities, like when we are talking about the various sections of the society, like women's, when we are talking about the backward classes or SC ST, such representation will be there in the CEC, and then whatever content is to go online, they will review it, and once they approve of it, that content, and then that content will go online. Other than that, there was this code of ethics which was also being discussed in this particular bill, but ultimately these provisions are right now are of no use because they have actually withdrawn it. But the issue over here is that government is trying, or government is considering to control or regulate the OTT platforms. They are also trying to control the social media or regulate the social media, and even the other online platforms which are basically there with respect to the news and the current affairs related programs. Now the thing is, why government wants to do that? Because when we are talking about the 2024 elections, there was some kind of influence which has been seen of the social media or the online content creators on the elections. Second thing is that there is issue of this misinformation, disinformation, etc. Okay, so to deal with all these issues, government is trying to regulate all. Okay, so that is about this particular article. Now we can move further to the next one. Now, Navin urged Center to continue support UNESCO Kalinga Prize. Okay. Now there is this prize, that is UNESCO Kaling Prize. Kaling, when we are talking about, so that is the region of Odisha and some part of Andhra Pradesh. In the ancient time, it was known as Kalinga. Okay. So here you can say that UNESCO Kalinga Prize, and you can say Navin Patnaik has urged Center to continue support. Recently, Center has withdrawn support from this particular prize. What used to happen is that when we are talking about this particular prize, some part of the prize was coming from the UNESCO, and there was another, you can say this Kaling chair was there, that was paid by the central government. Okay, and here now central government has said that they are withdrawing from that, they are actually taking their support back. Why? Because they have actually come up with their own prizes. Okay, so here you will be seeing the Science and Technology Ministry has withdrawn its contribution to the prestigious UNESCO Kalinga Prize for the popularization of the sciences. Okay, now why government is doing that? To rationalize all sciences award, instituted a new set of science awards, that is Rashtriya Vigyan Puruskar. Okay, now the central government has come up with the Rashtriya Vigyan Puruskar, and that is why they are actually withdrawing the support from that to replace all the existing, or you can say earlier awards which were there. Okay, including the coveted Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar award. Okay, so that is also there. Now the Kaling Prize is not just a symbol of Odia pride, but it has a legacy of independent India in the Committee of Nations globally. The prize was made possible with a generous contribution of £1,000 to UNESCO from Kalinga Foundation Trust. Okay, so that is there, which was actually created by the Biju Babu. We will be talking about him in the next slides. Okay, so basically there was this fund, or there was this trust, and that trust has instituted this particular award. Now the thing is, the Science Ministry had been supporting the UNESCO Kalinga's prize since 2001 with a cash prize of $, that is 40,000. Here you will be seeing the winner also receives a Kalinga chair established by the DST, Department of Science and Technology, which carries a cash component of $, that is basically 5,000. Okay, so now that support has been withdrawn. For our examinations point of view, what is important is that UNESCO Kalinga prize. Now what is this particular prize we will be talking about? Let's see over here. It was established in 1951. Founder was Mr. Vijayanand Patnaik. Kalinga Foundation Trust. As I told you, there is this trust and which has instituted this award. Okay, and this trust was founded by the Vijayanand Patnaik. Okay, then award frequency, that is biannually. When we are talking about the purpose, we have seen that it is given in the field of science, recognizing the significant contribution to the popularization of the science and technology, bridge the gap between science and society, enhance the public understanding of science and technology. So basically here you can say that it is given in the field of science and technology. That is it. You can remember it was instituted in 1951 by Vijayanand Patnaik. Okay. Now here you will be seeing what donors, who are the donors over here. Here you will be seeing there is this Kalinga Foundation Trust, which we have seen. Then government of state of Odisha. Okay, so this is also a contributor. Then when we are talking about this foundation trust over here, that has been supported by the UNESCO. There was some fund which has been given by the UNESCO in that. Okay, then government of India, Department of Science and Technology, they were also part of the donors, but now recently they have withdrawn the support. Okay, so that is there. Now you can say that there are only 2 donors as of now. Awards include cash prize of that is $, 40,000. There was this award certificate. UNESCO Albert Einstein silver medal is also been given, and Kalinga chair, this was to be given by the central government. Okay, so these were the part of these awards, and this was the, you can say, some particulars which you have to remember with respect to this award. Okay, now moving further to the next article, which is related to your Western Ghats. Now Western Ghats states submission on ESA, eco-sensitive areas or the eco-sensitive zones, to center's committee based on the old surveys. Okay, so recently when we are talking in this particular article, they have not given any kind of data or any kind of particular you can say that specifications, but there is this committee when we are talking about. So when we see the Western Ghats, there are 2-3 committees which we will be discussing that. Okay, so recently what they are doing is they are basically saying that these are based on the old surveys. Okay, so let's see. The center expert panel tasked with the finalizing the extent of eco-sensitive areas in the Western Ghats, that is under, that has received a submission broadly based on the old ground truthing surveys. Okay, now the thing is, why this issue has been there. Recently we have seen that in Kerala there was this in Wayanad there was this landslide, because this area of Western Ghats, that is you can say hilly area, or you can say hilly and forest area, and this is very eco-sensitive zone. So if any kind of development activity which is happening over there, that might cause some kind of environmental damage over there, and that is why we have to make sure that whatever development which we are doing over there, that has to be you know, some way it you know, related to the, or you can say it has to be environment friendly, or somehow you can say that it does not harm the environment. Okay, so in that case we have come up with the you know, eco-sensitive areas in the Western Ghats, and there was various committees like Kasturirangan committee was there, and they were given the, you can say, job to identify that particular area, eco-sensitive areas. Okay, now here you will see the expert panel headed by the Sanjay Kumar. The recent panel is under the Sanjay Kumar, so you can remember the name over here. Okay, so he was the former Director General of the Forest, is currently examining the objections and the submission by the 6th stage to arrive at the consensus after the central last week reissued the draft notification demarcating the ESAs. Okay, so in the last week there was this demarcation of the ESA, and which was covering area of nearly 56,825 square kilometers, and now they are considering the 6 states. These are the stakeholders. When we are talking about these states, you can say Gujarat is there, Maharashtra is there, Karnataka is there. Okay, then we have Goa, then we have Kerala, and some part of okay, so These are the states which are there, and these are basically stakeholders when we are talking about this Western Ghats, and they have been asked about their opinion. Okay, so there are certain states when we are talking about Karnataka, they are having some kind of issues. They are telling that to reduce the area. Kerala is there. Kerala is saying that there is some adjustment should be done, some area should be removed and some area should be added. Okay, so similarly there are certain concerns which are there. Okay, so states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, these are there, and these data which are there, it is based on the old surveys. Okay, now they have conducted a survey 2013 to 2018 to physically verify the extent of the villages declared as ESA by the center in the draft notification based on Kasturirangan panel's report. Okay, now earlier this panel report has been given by the Kasturirangan. Okay, on the basis of that they have gone for another survey. Okay, that is not important for us. Now the present and they presented their reasons, specific implementation problems and the hurdles. Some have sought exclusion only, some has sought exclusion and the inclusions. Okay, as I told you, there are certain states which are saying that some area should be excluded, and there are certain states which are saying that some area should be adjusted, some villages should be excluded and some other villages should be included in that. Okay, Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, Dehradun, is there to verify the green cover and the forest extent in that particular survey. Okay, now when we are talking about the Western Ghats, here you can see this is the area of the Western Ghats. When we talk about India's coastline, we know that it is something like this. Okay, so this area over here, okay, this is your Western Ghats, these are your Eastern Ghats, and confluence is somewhere over there and in the Nilgiris. Okay, so when we are talking about the Western Ghats, the extent is there on the western coast, and there are various states, like first is Gujarat, then we have Maharashtra, then we have Karnataka, then we have Goa, Kerala and some part of the Tamil Nadu. Okay, now these are the areas where Western Ghats are located, and various, you can say these when we talk about Western Ghats, they have been divided into various sections. Okay, we have Sahyadris, we have Central Western Ghats. Okay, then we have the Southern Western Ghats in the Kerala. Okay, and meanwhile here this is the area of confluence of Eastern and the Western Ghats, that is basically your Nilgiris. Okay, you can remember that. Now coming to the geographical extent, which we have seen that from the Satpura in the north, somewhere over here in Satpura in the north, till the Kanyakumari in the south, that is there. Then you can say mountain ranges, when we are talking about the Nilgiri range is there, which we have seen, Chevroy hills are there, Tirumala range is there. Then when we are talking about the highest peak of the Western Ghats, that is Anamudi. Okay, that is located in Kerala, so you can remember that. Other than that, there are various you can say rivers which are flowing over there. When we are talking about the western rivers, there is the Bharatpuha, Netravati, Sharavati, Mandovi. Okay, that is Mandvi or Mandovi river is there, that is in Goa. From Karnataka it enters to Goa. Then eastern flowing rivers like Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Tungabhadra, Bhima, Malprabha, Ghatprabha, Hemavati, Kabini, etc. which are there. Okay, so these rivers are important from the Western Ghats. Endemic species, we have talked about the Nilgiri tahar, lion-tailed macaque is there. Okay, now when we are talking about the important protected areas, that is also there. So I have mentioned all these things because these are certain things which are asked in the examinations. Okay, they have been asking this question related to lion-tailed macaque, or you can say Nilgiri tahar. If not question, then they are part of the options at least. Okay, then biosphere reserve, Agasthamala is there, Nilgiri is there, Silent Valley, Bandipur, Eravikulam, Wayanad, Madumalai, Nagarhole is there, tiger reserves if we talk about. So these are also certain things which are present in that particular area. Important passes are given, Talghat, Bolghat, Palakkad Gap is there, Amba Ghat. Okay, all these things you can go through. Now what are the major threats when we are talking about the eastern Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats as well? As I told you that these are the area which are ecologically sensitive, and that is why any kind of development activity or mining etc. that can be you can say causing some kind of hurdles to the area. Okay, so mining, industrialization is the threat, massive extraction of the forest produce, human wildlife conflict, encroachment, illegal hunting, livestock grazing, deforestation, large hydropower projects and the climate change. These are certain threats which are there with respect to the you can say these Western Ghats. Now to make sure that what are the areas which are ecologically sensitive areas in this region, so there was various committees which was given, that is Gadgil committee is there. In 2011 they have come up with you can say these surveys and reports. Okay, so Western Ghats Ecology Expert Panel it was also called, and recommendation was that all of the Western Ghats will be declared as the eco-sensitive areas with only limited development allowed in the grazed zone. Okay, So basically they said all of the Western Ghats should be considered as the ecologically sensitive area. Then comes the K. Kasturirangan committee that was there in 2013. Recommendation was instead of the whole, only 37% of the total area should be brought under the ecologically sensitive area. Okay, plus complete ban on the mining, quarrying and the sand mining to be imposed in that particular area. So that is there. Now there are certain states, when we are talking about 4 states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, these are the states which are basically having some issues with respect to the ecologically sensitive areas, because when we are talking about the ecologically sensitive area and the development work like mining etc. are to be completely banned in that area, so their developmental activities are basically getting hindered. Okay, so that is why they are showing some concern. So that was related to your Western Ghats and the ecologically sensitive areas. Moving further, next article is related to an ancient calendar found in Turkey or Turkey may have documented a 13,000 years old disaster. Okay, so basically in this particular area, earlier there was this archaeological site where was various pillars were there and there was various markings which were there, like there was some this U or V shaped markings which were there, and there was some these boxes were also there. Okay, so there is this conflict among the archaeologists that what is this indicating. Some of them are saying that these are simple, you can say, remnant of the histories, and they you should not go for the over interpretation of that. And there are certain archaeologists which are saying that this was some kind of calendar. Okay, so recently they have deciphered it and they have said that this is some kind of calendar which is based on the sun and moon's positions. Okay, here you will be seeing a researcher at the University of Edinburgh has discovered what he believes that is the earliest calendar of his kind, that is that is located, or you can say this particular finding was there in the Göbekli Tepe. Okay, so this is the area where excavations was going on, and then they have come up with this or you can say this particular pillars and the various other you can say artifacts over there, and they have found that this is some kind of calendar, or you can say the earliest calendar which was found over there. Archaeological excavation site which what now is the located in the southern Turkey. Okay, so this is the site if they ask about it. So you can remember that Göbekli Tepe, which is there in the Turkey, okay, in the southern part of Turkey. This is an ancient complex of temple like enclosures. Okay, now V-shaped markings on the lunisolar calendar, lunar plus solar calendars which were there, which combines the movement of the sun and moon, recorded a major astronomical event that has huge impact on the earth. It was you can say it was expected, or you can say speculated, that there was some kind of crater, or you can say the outside body which has come and struck over there. Okay, now he said that the intricate carvings at the Göbekli Tepe tells the story and the document the date when fragments of the comet which came from the meteor stream hit earth thoroughly nearly somewhere you can say 13,000 years ago. Okay, the comet strikes, which the latest research has placed in the year 10,850 BC somewhere over there, that this strike of comet which has happened over there. Okay, now the thing is, for our discussion what is important is that just remember that there is this place that is Göbekli Tepe which is there in the southern Turkey, and there was this earliest calendar, okay, which was discussed from this particular site. Okay, so that is all from this particular article, that is it. Okay, moving further, here you will be seeing when we are talking about the international news, here split in the Israel cabinet, defense minister says that total victory plan is a nonsense. Okay, there was this some cutting which is missing. Anyways, so basically this issue has been going on for a long time now, and when we are talking about the Netanyahu, the PM of the Israel, that he has this concept that he will be going for the, you can say, that total victory in that particular area. He has this objective or you can say aim that all the Hamas from that particular area should be eliminated. That is the idea of total victory. So the defense minister in his own cabinet has said that this is a nonsense idea. So that was there. Other than that, amid fears of Iranian strike, US orders submarines to the West Asia. Okay, now there was this issue that Iranians might strike in the area of you can say this Israel etc., and that is why USA has sent submarine to the Western Asia. Okay, so that is some you can say development which has happened in the area. Moving further, For your own read, there is this one article, once thriving, now all but gone, a history of Kerala's Jewish communities. Okay, so in this article they have discussed, once there was this thriving community of Jewish in the parts of Kerala, now most of them has gone from that particular area. So that has been given. If you are interested, you can go and read this article. In the end, there will be this practice question, who was the founder and president of the Kalinga Foundation Trust that was created, okay, the Kalinga Prize. We have talked about it. Rajendra Prasad, Jawaharlal Nehru, Vijayanand Patnaik and B.R. Ambedkar. So you can attempt this question and answer in the comment box. Again, I'm telling you, there is this discount of flat 40% on all the pen drive courses, distance learning programs, test series. So you can avail this offer from 15th to 18th August, and for that you can click in the link which was given in the description. Okay. So with that, I would like to take your leave. I'll see you soon. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.